Have you ever had one of those weeks, or, maybe one of those months, or it feels like life is just serving up one curveball after another, and you're just trying to stay afloat? It's a feeling we all know, that moment when everything feels like it's starting to unravel. So today, let's get into it. Let's talk about how to stay positive when everything seems to be going wrong. And this quote, it just says it all, doesn't it? Straw, camel, back. It's rarely the one huge catastrophic event that breaks us. So often, it's that one last tiny little thing that finally makes the whole structure just collapse. I'm guessing you're nodding your head right now. We've all been there. That feeling of being totally and completely overwhelmed, where you feel fragile and maybe a little lost. And I want you to know that is a deeply, deeply human experience. You are definitely not the only one. I mean, just look at this example from John Dom's article. It shows how quickly a situation can become a perfect storm. It starts with the baseline stress of quarantine. Okay, manageable. Then, 30 days in, a job loss. 2 days later, a tornado hits. Then the power goes out for days. And the final straw? The car breaks down, and all the food you managed to save spoils. See how it stacks? Each thing on its own is tough, but piled on top of each other, that's how you hit a breaking point. So why does this happen? Why do our minds seem to get stuck in a negative spiral when things go wrong? Well, it turns out there's a really good biological reason for it. This isn't some kind of personal failure. It's literally built into our human hardware. And here is the absolute key to understanding this whole thing. Our brains are hardwired with what's called a negativity bias. From an evolutionary standpoint, it makes total sense. Our ancient ancestors needed to be way more focused on the tiger in the bushes than the beautiful sunset if they wanted to survive. So, this is our brain's default setting. It's a survival tool. It means that if 10 good things happen to you today and one bad thing happens, your brain is naturally going to zoom in and fixate on that one negative event. So when a bunch of things go wrong, our brain puts them all under this giant magnifying glass, making everything feel so much worse than it might actually be. This comment from a Reddit user just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Plenty goes well, but our brains only look for the bad. That hyperfixation is the negativity bias in action. It's why one tiny criticism can totally erase 10 compliments. And it's why a string of bad luck can make us forget all the good that's still around us. And when we're dealing with a major loss, whether it's losing a job, a relationship, or just our sense of normal, we tend to follow a pretty predictable emotional path. You probably recognize these as the 5 stages of grief. It might start with denial, that this can't be happening feeling, then maybe anger, bargaining, which can lead to a period of real sadness before we eventually land on acceptance. Now, this is not a neat checklist. It's messy, you can jump between stages, but just knowing this process exists can make you feel a little less lost in it all. Okay, so our brains are naturally sticky for negative stuff. That's the challenge. But, and this is a big but, the good news is we are not stuck. We can actively work to rewire our mindset. We can build a more resilient perspective. So how do we do that? Let's start with the voice inside our own heads. Just listen to the difference here. On the left, you've got that harsh inner critic, just beating you down. But on the right, you have self-compassion. Instead of attacking yourself, you're kind. You acknowledge that, yeah, this is really hard. You remind yourself that being human means struggling sometimes. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a good friend. And one of the most powerful toolkits for this kind of mental rewiring comes from what's called cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. The whole idea is simple, but honestly, life-changing. Our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all connected. So if you can learn to challenge and change your negative thoughts, you can actually change how you feel and what you do. And CBT gives us some amazing practical techniques. Cognitive reframing is like trying on a new pair of glasses to see the situation from a different, less threatening angle. Thought records turn you into a detective, where you actually write down and investigate your negative thoughts to see if they're even true. And my personal favorite is decatastrophizing. It's the perfect tool for when your brain immediately jumps to the absolute worst-case scenario imaginable. Now here's a really fascinating idea. It's called positive illusions. And get this, research shows that most mentally healthy people are actually a little unrealistically optimistic. It's not about being delusional, it's a kind of cognitive adaptation. That slightly rosier view of ourselves in the future acts like a psychological shock absorber, helping us cope and stay motivated when things get tough. Pretty cool, right? Okay, shifting our thoughts is absolutely critical, but it's only half the equation. The next big step is to translate that new mindset into real, purposeful actions that build resilience in the real world. So if you want a powerful place to start, how about this one? Gratitude. It sounds simple, but the research is incredible. A regular gratitude practice can boost what scientists call your happiness set point by up to 25%. That is a huge return on your investment. And this quote from Reddit is the perfect example of gratitude in action. In the middle of who knows what, this person is intentionally asking what is going right. The cats are healthy, there's food, they have each other. It's about deliberately shifting your focus to find the good, no matter how small or simple it seems. And we cannot forget the absolute fundamentals. When we get stressed, these are often the first things to go out the window, but they are our foundation. Getting enough sleep, eating decent food, moving your body. These are not luxuries. They're the essential fuel your mind and body need to handle emotional stress and build yourself back up. And please, hear this. You do not have to do this alone. Trying to be a hero and bottle everything up is not a sign of strength. It's a recipe for burnout. Reaching out to people you trust, being real with them, it lightens the load and reminds you that you're part of a team. I just love this quote. It's such a powerful reminder that our vulnerability can actually be a gift. Letting the people in your life, your kids, your partner, your friends, see you struggle and then see you work through it, that doesn't make you weak. It makes you real, and it shows them how to handle their own struggles when they come along. So all of these tools, the mindset shifts, the purposeful actions, they're not just about surviving the crisis you're in right now. They are about building something much bigger, something that lasts, true emotional resilience. And this is the real goal. Resilience isn't about being bulletproof or never feeling pain. It's the ability to get knocked down and get back up. It's about adapting, learning, and finding a way to keep moving forward, even when the path is hard. So how do we build it? Well, you can think of it as a sturdy table resting on 4 pillars. You've got healthy thinking, that's the reframing and gratitude we talked about. You've got wellness, taking care of your body and mind, connection, nurturing those relationships, and finally, meaning, finding purpose, and maybe even seeing a chance for growth in the struggle. And this right here might be the most important takeaway of all. Chasing a state of constant, nonstop happiness is totally exhausting and, frankly, unrealistic. The real superpower is resilience. It's building the strength to face the storm, to bend without breaking, and to get back on your feet when it passes. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. We spend so much energy trying to avoid hardship. But what if we reframed the whole thing? What if every challenge isn't just an obstacle to be survived, but an opportunity to discover a strength inside you that you never even knew you had?